Alright, screw it. Going public live stream. Previous one I did as an unlisted live stream because I didn't want to. Well, I didn't really want to like show all the outtakes, but this is going to be one take. We're going to be building this bridge. Also, by the way, thank you so much for sudden explosion of people that was coming in. I'm currently I'm currently live streaming this at 7 a.m. But anyways, let's not drag it down longer. This is the bridge that we're going to be learning how to build. It's the square bridge I made a while back. So I'm going to start off with I'm going to start this off with by going backwards because it's actually a lot easier if we do this backwards. So you can begin this by having a I don't know, we can have a bridge like we can start off with a road like this, where we have it in a vertical position, and then we have the other 3 roads like that. Oh, before I do this, one thing that I wanted to mention in the previous video that I did in the previous video that I think most people would probably make a mistake on is when they make a hydraulic, they usually lock themselves into like using only one hydraulic by doing this. Oops, hang on. By doing this. And that's usually a mistake that a lot of people do. Hello, DNA Master. But yes, this is a mistake that a lot of people do. The big difference between doing that and doing this is that this allows for a lot more versatile stuff that you can do, because now rather than placing, because if you place the hydraulic here, now you can't really, you can kind of get something out of it, like where you get like a linkage here or something like that, but that's the best that you can really do. If you put the hydraulic back here instead, then you have this one bar here, this thing that I'm highlighting in wood. Actually, I can just use Alt like that. That one steel beam now has so much potential. Rather than channeling all the potential into this road, you're channeling all the potential into this metal beam. And now this metal beam can do like this stuff. Hang on, you can do this stuff where it pulls back this, and then you can like, I don't know, connect it to whatever this is, and it creates some weird shape. And I don't know, you can just connect another road to it if you want to, and then it creates a weird shape like that. But you kind of get the point. It gets much more versatile if you work with something like this, if you work with the hydraulic in a better position. Anyways, back to the square. We're going to start off by just again, we're going to use the same technique that I did last time in the previous video, where I maximize the length of this hydraulic, and then maximize this, in this case, expand it, because in the end one, we're going to contract it. Now let's not even use wood, let's use metal for all of this, because we're not doing this under budget, we have unlimited budget in this case. So let's have all those be locked. Oh, and that almost perfectly gets us to a flat position. I can probably edit just a little bit to get that to work better. Like so. A little more. There you go, so that is basically as flat as a road as I can get. Next up, I'm going to create a road here, and we're going to use a parallel linkage. Now, if you didn't watch the previous videos, a parallel linkage basically connects any 2 like positions. So like let's make a stable anchor base here up in the sky. just away from all of this chaos that we have down here. Oops. So we're going to take this for example. We're going to take this beam right here as an example. And we're going to... We want this and this, like these two random, completely unrelated objects, to have the exact same angle as each other. So in this case, we can just have a... If we connect... what we can do is that we can make them, because they're basically the same length here, we can copy it and create what is known as a parallel linkage. These are essentially two parallel beams, which then, as you can see, keeps them parallel to each other. And if I say change the angle of this one, it changes the angle of the other one as well. So that is the really cool versatility of the parallel linkage. In this case, we want to keep this one, when this flattens out, we want this one to also stay flat when it comes down. So the easiest place for us to find somewhere that is flat and is always going to stay flat is the ground. The ground is never going to be moving, really, unless we somehow get a new update on that, but highly doubt that. So what we're going to do is that we're going to have, in this case, I'll do this in wood first, so then you guys can see what I'm doing. So this is going to become our parallel linkage. I'm going to copy this just to make sure. Yep, that's good. So that's literally the parallel linkage, and right here, this little parallelogram. Hang on, let me lock that. That's something that I need to fix my habit on. And there you go, so now that stays perfectly flat. I'm going to turn that to metal because later on that's going to put a lot of stress. Next, we're going to have this. Now, if I place something like this and I lock into there, it's going to pull backwards, of course. But if I put it up here, because putting it down here will pull this with it. But if I put this here, and if you have a basic understanding of levers, that goes in the opposite direction. So we can take advantage of that, of course. And if you're wondering why I even connected to here, it's because that, again, this right here, and then an additional additional beam here actually, which doesn't really exist because it's actually it's the land. This stays as this acts almost like as a secondary anchor, so it's very helpful. I could connect it to here. It's totally possible, but the problem is that if you flatten this out, if I flatten this out like this, that doesn't do much. That really doesn't do much. If I really make this small, yes, it's possible, but it's so difficult to find that it's really not worth it. And it comes to the point where if you try to and the problem is that if you try to flatten it out perfectly, you're going to run into an issue where essentially it's going to become taut. It's going to become too taut, and then that road breaks. Like, yeah, that is pretty much almost perfect for us. But then the road breaks because it's too taut. So we need to work from a higher up stance. So in this case, let's just place one up here. Let's place the support even higher up. So in this case, we're moving it up to here now. So this is an anchor, and then just connecting this to an anchor and then a pseudo anchor, which we're creating here. And then we can connect that to there, and we can work from that. Now, the main problem about this is that, of course, it requires a lot of tweaking, but given enough time, you will find something that is kind of roughly what you need. So let's play around with some more. A little bit less. There you go, so that's now flat. And then now here's the reason why we need the split joint here. These are all locked, yes, but this one isn't. So we're going to create another triangle, and we're going to work backwards. Now, the problem here is that you can't, like you can technically do that, but the problem is that you may notice that you're going to have to really branch far away in order for this to like kind of coincide properly, and it gets a bit wonky, and if it gets really long, this gets way too heavy, so to kind of like work as a proper support. So what we can do as an alternative is to actually connect it to the road that's already existing, and then create something, and then to prevent this from happening where it grows, hang on, that's the wrong one, I connected the wrong one, sorry. This is the anchor. To prevent that from growing taut, because if I'm gonna, let me highlight that, right here, I'm going to pause. This point here goes down this metal beam to here, which goes down to this metal beam to here. If that becomes too taut, actually I'll turn on stress, you can see that that becomes very red and then it just breaks. So to prevent that, there's something that I just remembered, there's something that I remembered recently that I used to do in the Fantastic Contraption community, where you actually add an additional triangle over here, which will allow you for a greater angle, because this is too shallow of an, this is too close of an angle to becoming taut. If you move it over to, if you have the focus shifted all the way back over here, then it will allow for a much bigger angle of manipulation, essentially. So here we can then just do a muscle we really want to, and then just pull it back, and all of a sudden it no longer becomes taut. So that's perfect. Now we can just play around with this type of stuff. So let's play around, let's try that. Nope. We can do this then, see if that pulls it further. Nope. Okay, so let's try the exact same strat, but over here now. So actually no, that wouldn't actually work, sorry, because this would actually act almost like a parallelogram, so that doesn't do anything at all. That doesn't do anything good for us. So what we can do instead is actually we can probably just warp it with this some more. Make that smaller maybe. Play around with this some more. Nope, seems like we need some more. So, of course, from what we're learning now is that we need to pull it even further back. So what we can do is that you can end up what is it? Pulling. You can actually exploit the fact that this is rotating itself and implement it into this. So what we're going to do here is that we're going to actually push, we're going to grab another one over here and connect it over to there. And then see if that plays around with something. Now, I ended up missing actually something that that I completely oversighted, where in this case, now we have this parallelogram over here, which does nothing. This is why I don't do multiple. This is why I don't do this in one take most often. I usually do this in multiple takes, so I don't really make mistakes. But you know what? Making mistakes live is probably good, because then you can actually see some mistakes that I make and you can learn from them. So I'm actually going to revert back to the same thing that I did a while back. So here I can do that, and then I can connect to I can probably connect over to here. So this is now even higher up. And then let's find the anchor point. Here's the anchor point. Okay, so let's see where that is causing an issue. Well, first of all, yeah, first of all, this isn't even pulling far back enough. So we're going to actually first bring this down, see if we can get more bang for our bust for here. There you go. So now we can exploit. Hang on, let's first find an even better one. Not bad, but that can be better. Let's actually, you know what? Let's bring this. Let's actually connect this to the old one over here. So that's now done that. Now let's see what happens. Now, if you want to actually increase the effect of a specific thing, what you can have is that rather than just making it bigger, because that actually makes it weaker. That makes it less of a rotation. You can actually push it lower and it causes a bigger effect. So, big nerd. Yes, indeed. If you haven't been aware, if you weren't already aware of that, so you can push that all the way back like that, and you can see that that rotates even further. So, what I can do is that I can probably take advantage of that. Oh yeah, you don't want these like slim triangles when you're trying to pull stuff. So let's make 2 of these. So now they're much. It's basically turning into a muscle. So I can then just do that and pull back. Now, can we pull this back even further? Yes. Alright, so we want this to be even earlier on, so let's pull it as far as we can, considering it doesn't seem that we're getting too much more out of this. So, oh. So let's play around with that. Let's make this smaller. In fact, I think we can, because I'm noticing that is because that is starting to stall, and while this is also extending, so that's not good. So we can probably do something like this instead, and I can reduce this. You want to reduce the amount of stalling that there is inside the actual mechanism. So let's first figure out a good way to not find something that stalls. So, that stalls still. So I think the reason why we're stalling so much is because that we're reaching this is becoming almost flat. So, because the main reason why this is actually changing is because of the fact that this is going in this here is going in this direction. But when it starts going in this direction, it doesn't really do much. So we should probably exploit more regarding the actual horizontal one. So we can try to find a more diagonal one. So rather than going all the way back here, we can maybe find something from maybe over down here. So let's just connect something like so. So maybe like even closer to it. Yeah, there you go. You can see that it's starting to. Yes, you can see that it's starting to rotate right at the end. Now, it seems a bit too rough, so we got to find a good spot for it to not just completely tear itself apart. Ooh, not bad, but it seems very close to... You know what, that'll do. So, that'll do for now. Let's try this. Okay, no, that immediately breaks, so that's... Hang on. Yeah, that's immediately breaking, so that's an issue. I mean, I could be really lazy and just do that. because they aren't invincible, but let's not do that. So I'm getting stuck on a section I really wouldn't be normally stuck on. So let's try something where let's just stick with a typical, like, just folding back. Let's just fold it back normally. So in this case, we're probably just going to have to deal with the fact that we have to pull it back. We have to flatten it as soon as possible, or else it's not going to work. So in that case, we're just going to do that. We're going to use the same method that I showed you there. That last part is involving like some dead fish. Yes. Let's find that. This is something that I've never really struggled on, which is interesting. Let's figure out how that's working. Okay, so if I make this smaller, okay, then that just makes it way too taut for it to handle. Oh, what the heck? Hang on, if I... Okay, so... Interesting. So we're getting somewhere. Though that is... Oh yeah, that is definitely... That's also colliding with that, which is a problem. Actually, I can just fix that by doing that. No, but then that also fails. Okay, so... I never see big YouTubers do this, but I really want to see a hard map done complicated. Ooh. Now, it depends on what type of level it is for me. Most often I'd be fine with, say, a level that is very hydraulic based. Like, it's heavily hydraulic based, and it has a lot of different ways of solving, and it's both very tight and it's very confusing, but it's also allowing for a lot of different solutions to a single level. And that really doesn't appear very often. It's like, for example, like 4-15 is one of those few levels where I really love, because it's a hard challenge, but it allows for you to do a lot of different ideas. Anyways, I'm thinking I'm just gonna scrap the idea that I originally had and actually do something different. So, because that's the process of doing this type of stuff. Now, I'm noticing that here, this is going down. If I connect something like this, that pulls it back. If I do something here, that pushes it forward. So if I connect this to here, then we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere now. Ooh, we're very much getting somewhere now. There you go. There you go. Hang on, wait. There you go. So that is a flat road. Now, we've reversed engineered it. Now we just need to do it the other way around. So what we're going to do is that I'm actually going to change to I'm going to change this to a main screen. You can't really see a difference. Actually, let's set this screen to be like that. There you go. I'm going to pause that. I'm now going to take a screenshot of that. So I'm going to align that there. I'm now going to, hang on, let me change my screen so you guys can see it. There you go. So I have a screenshot here of that bridge, and I've overlaid it exactly on top. If I pause that That's now given us a perfect blueprint. So that's something that we can work with. So let's start off with placing that there, that there, that there, there. Oh yeah, I should probably place the roads aligned with the grid so that it makes it easier for us. There we go. Do that. That's a very, again, this is something that I would rarely ever do. That's a very flimsy triangle, but you know what? I'll let it slide because it's a very light vehicle. Unless it can't handle itself anymore. And it implodes. Then, yeah, that might be something that we need to fix. If we have, so we can have something like this and connect it to there. So that's our so there's our parallel linkage in beautiful tip-top shape. And I'm going to connect it to there. I'm not really sure what this thing here is for. I think that's something from an older section I was trying to do, but then it didn't work. Now you can see that I have to, so in this case I can't seem to quite get that area there, so I'm just gonna, oops, I'm gonna shift that back. I'm just gonna connect it like that, because you know what, it's fine. Oops. Well, after I lock it, then it's gonna be fine. Ooh, very close. Now of course it's not perfect. It's not perfect. Let me change back to Polybridge 2. There we go. So let's first figure out what needs adjustment. So, okay, so this road here needs more adjusting. So in this case, I can probably bring this closer and this lower. Let's play around with that and see how that does. Ooh, okay, that's improved. That's good. We like improvements. That's too much of an improvement. Good, good. We can definitely pull more out of this though. So let's see if we can get that to be practically vertical. Lower that. Nope, too much. Increase a little bit. If you're wondering how that even works, is essentially this here. It's just this height, like why I'm shifting this up and down, and that makes the difference. It kind of just comes down to feeling for how you just know this type of stuff. But if I just move this off to the side and do this for a separate demonstration, let's do it over here. There we go. You can see that if I'm just over exaggerating, if I do this, that doesn't really do much. I'm just gonna use that as a marker. As you can see, that doesn't do much. Hang on, wait. That pulls about that far. Not bad. Now let's. What? What? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just checked the chat right now. Congrats on 50 viewers. Are you kidding me? Hello, guys. I didn't even check. But anyways, so you can see this. That does a little bit. If we decrease this, I'm so sorry that I scared you guys. I'm so sorry, but that was that gave me quite a shock, to be honest. But let's align this here with it. If we make this lower, and I set this to here, you can see that pulls way farther. So that's kind of how that demonstration works. Anyways, let's continue on. So here we're going to, I'm just going to adjust this a little bit. It's a lot of minor tweaking, but over time you'll get it to align properly. So that works fine. That one obviously worked fine because it's a parallel linkage. It always works. I'm in genuine shock I'm in genuine shock. I'm sorry. that is. I was not anticipating. Oh, okay. There you go. There you go. That is just it just snapped there. But holy crap! Thank you guys for this. I was not anticipating this. Anyways, back to Polybridge. There you go. So there you go. It's now locked in place. I'm just adjusting it a little bit so then you can kind of just do something like that. There you go. There you have it, my friends. Now let's just do the other side. And there you have it. Thank you for joining on this little short stream. I'm going to be streaming on my main for this Saturday because I always stream on Saturdays. Nevs is actually going to be Nevs, I don't know if you're going to be joining me or not, but if you guys want to come join my main channel, I'm going to be doing more Polybridge there to play a little bit of workshop levels, maybe some random miscellaneous stuff. Actually, which stream is this? I'm sorry. You guys can watch this again in like slow motion if you want. I need to quickly check my. I'm gonna quickly check my Twitter just so I can make sure that I got the correct date. Today is June 27th. Yes, today is a miscellaneous stream, which means that we're doing Polybridge. So I hope to see you guys there. Because holy crap, no, you're not gonna host. You will be there though. Yes. I mean, unless you may host for a little bit if I end up eating every once in a while. But anyways, wow, that 60 viewers was something that I was not anticipating at all. Like my main only gets like 10-ish, around there. But that kind of makes sense because most of my stuff is LimeWire and gets very boring after a while. But when I first saw the 1-6 video, you had 609 subs, now you have 800 within a few hours. It's been a wild ride. I have to make a 1K sub special for my second channel now, don't I? I love your LimeWire vids. Aw, thank you. Well done for first place. Yeah, I accidentally got. I did not even intend this, but I got first place in 1-6. Yep, it's level 1-6 video. It's the fault of the 1-6 video. Yeah, but if somebody wants to take my record, go ahead. I don't care. It's such a dumb record. It doesn't make any sense why I got that record. People should figure it out already. So take it. I'm not a guy that's supposed to like optimize stuff. I'm the guy that likes to over-engineer stuff. So honestly, I wanna talk with you all more. I want to delay as much as I can, but I guess I'm going to have to head off now. Like, I'll send out a notification when I'm going to be streaming Polybridge in my main channel in a few bits. But until then, thank you, whoever you 60 people are. You're beautiful people. Have a good day.